The year is 1916. Europe is drowning in mud and blood. Millions clash in a brutal war, but in the trenches a whisper travels. It's a story of bravery, sacrifice, and forgotten heroes. This is a story seldom told, but one that deserves to be heard. World War I, the war to end all wars, was a global conflict that reshaped the world. It toppled empires, redrew maps, and left an indelible mark on human history. Yet, within its vast and tragic narrative lie countless untold stories waiting to be unearthed. Few remember the assassination that ignited the Great War. It was a moment that seemed insignificant at the time, but it set off a chain of events that would change the world forever. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, fell to a Serbian nationalist's bullet. The assassination took place in Sarajevo, a city that would become infamous for this tragic event. This act, seemingly small, unleashed a firestorm across Europe. The assassination was the spark that ignited a long, simmering powder keg of tensions and rivalries. The Austro-Hungarian Empire, a patchwork of ethnicities, saw an opportunity to crush Serbian ambition. They issued an ultimatum to Serbia, demanding harsh terms that were almost impossible to meet. Germany, eager to assert its dominance, pledged unwavering support to Austria-Hungary. Kaiser Wilhelm II saw this as a chance to expand German influence and power in Europe. Russia, bound by treaty to Serbia, mobilized its vast armies. Tsar Nicholas II felt compelled to support his Slavic brethren, setting the stage for a broader conflict. And so, a tangled web of alliances drew the great powers into a conflict that would consume the continent. Nations were bound by treaties and agreements that forced them into the fray. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand was a pivotal moment in history. It was the catalyst that set off a series of events leading to one of the deadliest conflicts in human history. It exposed the fragility of peace in early 20th century Europe. Diplomatic efforts to maintain stability were quickly overwhelmed by the forces of nationalism and militarism. It also highlighted the volatile mix of nationalism, imperialism, and military alliances that had been brewing for decades. These forces created a perfect storm that was just waiting for a spark. The assassination was a spark that ignited the powder keg of Europe, leading to a chain reaction that plunged the world into war. The Great War, as it came to be known, would reshape the world in ways that no one could have foreseen. In the East, another empire faced its twilight. The Ottoman Empire, once a mighty power, teetered on the brink of collapse. Allied with Germany, the Ottomans found themselves at war with a formidable foe, the British Empire. The Gallipoli campaign, a disastrous attempt to capture Constantinople, cost both sides dearly. British and Anzac forces faced fierce resistance on the beaches of Gallipoli. The campaign, a testament to Ottoman resilience, ultimately ended in Allied withdrawal. But the cost of victory was high, and the Ottoman Empire emerged from the war further weakened and fragmented. Amidst the chaos, a young British officer named T.E. Lawrence embarked on an extraordinary mission. Tasked with inciting an Arab revolt against Ottoman rule, Lawrence journeyed into the Arabian desert. He forged alliances with Arab leaders, promising them independence in exchange for their support. Leading Bedouin warriors, Lawrence launched a guerrilla campaign against Ottoman forces. His exploits, immortalized in literature and film, captured the imagination of the world. The Arab revolt, though ultimately unsuccessful in achieving its goals, played a significant role in undermining the Ottoman war effort. Section 5. The Secret War Beneath the Waves, U-boats and the Battle of the Atlantic. While armies clashed on land, a silent and deadly struggle raged beneath the waves. This underwater conflict was as crucial as the battles fought on the ground. German U-boats, lurking in the depths, waged a relentless campaign against Allied shipping. These submarines, known as undersea boats, were a formidable force. These underwater predators, armed with torpedoes, threatened to sever Britain's lifeline to its overseas empire. Their mission was to disrupt the flow of essential supplies and reinforcements. The Battle of the Atlantic, a protracted and brutal struggle, tested the limits of technology and human endurance. It was a battle of wits and innovation, with both sides constantly adapting their tactics. Convoys, protected by destroyers and armed merchant ships, battled to get supplies through the U-boat cordon. These convoys were a lifeline, ensuring that food, weapons, and troops reached their destinations. The U-boat threat, though eventually contained, had a profound impact on the course of the war. The relentless attacks forced the Allies to develop new strategies and technologies, ultimately leading to the U-boat's defeat. The legacy of this underwater war would shape naval tactics for decades to come. Section 6, The Lost Battalion, a story of courage and survival. In the Argonne Forest, a unit of American soldiers found themselves trapped behind enemy lines. The Lost Battalion, as they became known, endured days of relentless German attacks. Cut off from supplies and reinforcements, they fought with incredible bravery and determination. Their story, one of extraordinary courage and resilience, became a symbol of the American fighting spirit. The Lost Battalion's ordeal, though a small part of the larger conflict, highlights the personal stories of sacrifice and survival that defined World War I. Section 7. The Harlem Hellfighters, African American Soldiers in the Great War. Over 200,000 African American soldiers served in World War I. These brave men faced not only the horrors of war, but also the harsh realities of racial segregation and discrimination within the military and society. One unit, the 369th Infantry Regiment, known as the Harlem Hellfighters, distinguished themselves in combat. They were renowned for their bravery and tenacity, earning respect from their allies and enemies alike. Facing both enemy fire and racial prejudice, they fought with valor and distinction. Despite being relegated to labor battalions and often given the most dangerous assignments, they proved their mettle on the battlefield. The Harlem Hellfighters spent more time in combat than any other American unit. Their relentless spirit and unwavering courage made them a formidable force, and they played a crucial role in several key battles. They were also the first American unit to reach the Rhine River after the armistice. This significant achievement marked a turning point in the war and highlighted their exceptional contribution to the Allied victory. Their story is a testament to the courage and patriotism of African American soldiers who served their country with honor, despite facing discrimination and segregation. The legacy of the Harlem Hellfighters continues to inspire future generations, reminding us of the sacrifices made by these brave men in the pursuit of freedom and equality. In December 1914, a remarkable event unfolded on the Western Front. Across the trenches, German and British soldiers laid down their arms and observed an unofficial Christmas truce. They sang carols, exchanged gifts, and even played a game of football. This spontaneous act of humanity, a brief respite from the horrors of war, became a poignant reminder of our shared humanity. The Christmas truce, though short-lived, offered a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness. It showed that even in the midst of conflict, the human spirit could prevail. Section 9. The Spanish flu, a silent killer, stalks the battlefield. As if the horrors of war were not enough, a new enemy emerged, the Spanish flu. This deadly pandemic swept across the globe, infecting millions and claiming more lives than the war itself. The flu, spread by soldiers returning from the front, devastated both civilian and military populations. Hospitals overflowed and entire communities were decimated. The Spanish flu pandemic, overshadowed by the war, serves as a stark reminder of the indiscriminate nature of disease and the importance of public health. Section 10. The Treaty of Versailles, Seeds of Future Conflict. In 1919, the victorious Allies gathered in Paris to negotiate a treaty to end the war. The Treaty of Versailles, harsh and punitive, aimed to cripple Germany and prevent future conflict. It imposed crippling reparations, stripped Germany of territory, and blamed it for the war. But the treaty, rather than fostering reconciliation, sowed the seeds of resentment and instability. It created conditions that would contribute to the rise of extremism and ultimately lead to another world war. Section 11. Remembering the Forgotten, Why These Stories Matter. These untold stories of World War I offer a glimpse into the human cost of conflict. They remind us of the courage, sacrifice, and resilience of those who fought and died in the trenches. They also highlight the complex political and social forces that led to war and its lasting impact on the world. It is our duty to remember these stories, to learn from the past, and to strive for a more peaceful future. Section 12. Join the conversation, the Fact Grid. If you're fascinated by history and eager to uncover more untold stories like these, Then subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Fact Grid. We delve into the most captivating events and figures from the past, bringing history to life with stunning visuals and engaging storytelling.